There comes a moment at the end of each day when the world falls silent, and we are left with nothing but our thoughts. It is in this sacred stillness, before the realm of sleep claims us, that we find an opportunity to pray. We spend our waking hours grasping, striving, and worrying, as though the weight of the world rests entirely upon our shoulders. But as night falls, we must remember a profound truth. We were never meant to carry it all alone. Prayer is not merely a ritual. It is the gentle surrender of a weary soul into the hands of the one who governs all things. When we pray before sleeping, we acknowledge that our strength is finite, but God's is infinite. In the quiet moments before sleep, when the distractions of the day fade and we are left with our own thoughts, we face a fundamental reality. We are not in control of everything. No matter how much we plan, worry, or strive, there are forces beyond us that shape our lives in ways we cannot fully understand. This is why prayer before sleep is not simply a habit or tradition. It is an act of surrender, an acknowledgement that we are dependent on something greater than ourselves. Throughout the day, we experience victories and failures, joys and disappointments. We encounter situations that challenge our patience, test our character, and sometimes leave us feeling helpless. In those moments, we may try to rely on our own wisdom, attempting to solve every problem through sheer effort. But when night falls, when we prepare to close our eyes and drift into unconsciousness, we are reminded that there is a limit to what we can do. Sleep itself is an act of trust. We close our eyes and let go, believing that the world will continue without our control, that the sun will rise again whether we will it or not. Prayer before sleeping is an extension of that trust. It is the soul's way of saying, I have done what I could today. Now I place everything into God's hands. It is an opportunity to release our burdens, our anxieties about tomorrow, our regrets about the past, our uncertainties about the present, and hand them over to the one who holds all things together. This surrender is not an act of weakness. It is an act of faith. It does not mean we stop working hard or stop caring about our responsibilities. Rather, it means we recognize that our strength is finite, while God's is infinite. There is a kind of rest that sleep alone cannot provide. A restless mind, burdened by unresolved fears, may close its eyes but never truly find peace. But a heart that prays before sleeping finds a deeper rest, one that is not dependent on external circumstances, but rooted in the assurance that God is in control. To surrender in prayer is to admit that we do not have to figure everything out before we sleep. It is a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles, that we are not meant to bear the weight of our worries by ourselves. This kind of surrender also fosters humility. So much of human anxiety stems from the illusion of control. We believe that if we just plan better, try harder, or worry enough, we can force life to unfold exactly as we wish. But reality often humbles us. Unexpected trials arise, plans unravel, and life moves in directions we never anticipated. Prayer before sleep is a daily practice in humility. A reminder that we are not self-sufficient. It teaches us to let go of our pride, to admit that we need help, and to trust in God's wisdom rather than our own limited understanding. Beyond just easing our worries, this nightly act of surrender strengthens our relationship with God. Every relationship requires trust, and the more we practice surrendering our fears and uncertainties to Him, the more we learn to trust Him. Over time, this trust becomes a source of deep inner peace. The person who prays before sleeping does not merely hope for a good night's rest. They place themselves in the hands of a loving Creator who watches over them. Life will always be filled with uncertainties, There will always be things beyond our control, unexpected losses, unanswered questions, challenges that seem too great to overcome. But in the face of all this, prayer before sleep remains a steady and unshaken act of faith. It is a way of saying, I do not know what tomorrow holds, but I trust the one who holds tomorrow. It is the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, we are not abandoned, and we do not have to face life alone. So each night, as we lay down our heads, let us not carry the burdens of the day into our sleep. Let us surrender them in prayer, knowing that we are entrusting them to hands far more capable than our own. In doing so, we will find the rest that no amount of sleep can provide. A rest rooted not in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of a faithful and loving God. As the day comes to an end and we prepare to rest, we are given a rare and precious opportunity, the chance to pause, reflect, and express gratitude. Too often, life moves at a relentless pace, filled with responsibilities, distractions, and concerns that consume our attention. From the moment we wake up to the time we close our eyes, we are constantly engaged with the world around us, responding to demands, solving problems, and navigating the complexities of daily life. It is easy to forget the importance of reflection, of looking back on the day with honesty and humility, and of acknowledging both our blessings and our shortcomings. Prayer before sleep provides a sacred moment for this kind of self-examination. It is a time to ask ourselves, how did I live today? Did I act with kindness and integrity? Were there moments where I allowed anger, pride, or selfishness to dictate my actions? Did I use my time wisely, or did I waste it on trivial things? These are not questions meant to bring guilt or discouragement, but rather to cultivate self-awareness and growth. When we pray, we hold up a mirror to our souls, allowing God to reveal where we have succeeded and where we have faltered. Acknowledging our mistakes is not a sign of weakness. It is a step toward transformation. If we have spoken harshly to someone, if we have harbored resentment in our hearts, or if we have failed to do what is right, prayer before sleep is a moment to seek forgiveness. It is an opportunity to lay our imperfections before God, trusting that His grace is greater than our failures. This daily practice of self-examination prevents us from becoming complacent in our flaws. Instead, it encourages us to strive for a better version of ourselves each day. At the same time, prayer before sleeping is not only about acknowledging our shortcomings, it is also about recognizing our blessings. In the busyness of life, it is easy to take things for granted. The people who love us, the small victories of the day, the simple joys that we often overlook. Gratitude is a powerful force, one that shifts our perspective from what is lacking to what has been given. When we pause to thank God for His blessings, we cultivate a heart that is content, humble, and appreciative. Even on difficult days, there is always something to be grateful for. Perhaps it is the strength to endure a challenge, the comfort of a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of a sunset that reminded us of life's simple wonders. When we make gratitude a part of our nightly prayers, we train our hearts to focus on the good rather than dwell on the negative. This habit not only brings peace, but also reshapes the way we view our lives over time. Furthermore, prayer before sleep allows us to entrust our future to God. After reflecting on the past and giving thanks for the present, we look ahead with faith rather than fear. Instead of worrying about what tomorrow holds, we release our anxieties and place them in the hands of the one who is sovereign over all things. This act of trust frees us from the burden of trying to control every outcome. The combination of self-examination, gratitude, and trust creates a profound sense of inner peace. A person who prays before sleeping does not lie awake plagued by regret or fear. Instead, they rest in the assurance that they have made peace with their past, they are thankful for their present, and they are hopeful for their future. Thus, each night, before we close our eyes, we are given a choice. We can allow the day to slip away without reflection, or we can take a moment to acknowledge where we have fallen short, where we have been blessed, and where we need to place our trust. Prayer before sleep is not simply a routine. It is a discipline that shapes our character, deepens our relationship with God, and fills our hearts with peace. In the quiet moments before sleep, when the world slows down and distractions fade away, the mind often finds itself restless. Thoughts of the day's events, worries about tomorrow, and unresolved concerns creep in, making it difficult to truly rest. The human mind, left to itself, can become a battleground of anxiety, doubt, and fear. However, prayer before sleeping serves as a refuge, offering a sense of inner peace and spiritual strength that no other practice can provide. When a person prays before sleep, they are engaging in an act that goes beyond words. It is a moment of connection with God, a time to release burdens and seek divine comfort. Life is unpredictable, and each day brings challenges, some expected, others unforeseen. Without an outlet for these concerns, they accumulate, weighing heavily on the soul. Prayer is the release valve, allowing the heart and mind to unburden themselves. It is the act of handing over what is too heavy to carry alone, trusting that there is a greater power at work. True peace is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of trust in the midst of it. Many people lie awake at night, replaying conversations, regretting past mistakes, or worrying about what the future holds. Prayer shifts the focus from uncertainty to assurance. Instead of dwelling on problems, the soul finds rest in the knowledge that God is in control. It is a reminder that no situation is beyond His reach, no challenge too great for His strength. This understanding transforms worry into worship, anxiety into assurance, and restlessness into rest. Beyond peace, prayer before sleep also fortifies the soul with spiritual strength. Life is a continuous journey, requiring endurance, patience, and wisdom. Without regular renewal, the soul grows weary, much like a body deprived of nourishment. Just as food strengthens the body and rest restores energy, prayer strengthens the spirit. It replenishes what the trials of the day have depleted, providing the resilience needed for the challenges ahead. A person who prays before sleeping does not merely end the day, they prepare for the next. In prayer, there is also protection. The mind is vulnerable in moments of exhaustion. Negative thoughts, discouragement, and even temptation can take root when one is weary. But prayer acts as a shield, guarding the heart against despair and filling it with hope. It is a way of wrapping oneself in divine security, ensuring that sleep is not just physical rest, but also a spiritual renewal. Furthermore, prayer before sleep cultivates consistency in one's relationship with God. Just as daily conversations strengthen human relationships, regular communication with God deepens faith. It creates a rhythm of dependence, reinforcing the reality that God is not distant or disengaged, but near and attentive. This nightly practice nurtures a faith that is not based on emotions or circumstances, but on trust in God's unwavering presence. The result of such a habit is a life marked by stability, confidence, and peace. A person who prays before sleeping does not live in fear of the unknown, but in trust of the one who holds all things together. They wake with a renewed mind, unburdened by yesterday's regrets and strengthened for today's challenges. Prayer before sleep is not merely a closing ritual, it is an act of surrender, renewal, and preparation. It invites peace into the heart, fortifies the soul with spiritual strength, and fosters a deep and abiding trust in God. In a world filled with uncertainty, this practice becomes an anchor, ensuring that no matter what each day brings, the soul remains steady, at rest, and secure in the hands of the divine.